Hello and welcome. Today I'll be showing you how to get a modded aircraft, this one, the FlyByWire A320 Neo, into Flight Simulator and on a route to wherever you want to go. Today I'll be going from Newquay Airport to Edinburgh. I'm going to show you how to do it. So first of all, to get the aircraft you have to go to flybywiresim.com. Obviously all links will be in the description. Then you just want to click on the installer and then download. And then once you've downloaded it, it should look like this. And then, or roughly like this. And then you want to find your aircraft. So ours is the A320, so it's this one here. And obviously I've already got it installed. You just got to click install and it should find your directory for the sim. Make sure your sim is closed, you don't want to open for this. So then once you've clicked that, installed, and it's installed, and then you've launched the sim, you should then find it in your flight sim. So once you've picked an airport, here we are. So this is Newquay Airport in Cornwall. Bit of a bad day today, but we're not focusing on that. So inside the plane, we want some power. So head up to the overhead, and then on external, turn on all of these off lights. So it should look like that. And then turn on the battery. And then what you want to do is move over to your left, I like to get rid of the coffee cup, and press once on the tablet here. Okay? There's a few things we need to do before we can actually start flying. So first of all, we need a route. So as you can see here, it says from SimBrief. We'll get to that in a minute. You go to the settings cog at the bottom, and then you want to click on ATSU. And then you want to find the SimBrief username / pilot ID. So we're going to set that up now. Go back to your browser of choice and go to simbrief.com and then click login. But obviously you need an account. So click create account. Create account with Navigraph, so go on that. And then fill all this out and then press create account. Hopefully you've done that correct. So once you've done all this, you want to come back to Flight Sim, put in your username here, and then I think you either press enter or just click off and it should automatically turn into numbers. If it doesn't, then you might have to Google a solution, because for me it worked first time, so I don't have any solutions why it won't work. Anyway, so once you've done that, you want to come back to SimBrief, and then you want to go to dispatch, my flight plans, and obviously if it's brand new it won't look like this, it'll probably look like this. So you want to kind of get to this stage. So you want to fill out, it's quite easy, it looks a bit like a lot of stuff, but it's quite easy. So you want to put in your airline. This could be anything you want, you don't have to, but I'm going to put EZY for EasyJet here in UK. And then the flight number, I normally tend to go for the day, so the day of this recording is 22nd. And then depart, I'm departing from Newquay Cornwall Airport, it's EGHQ. And I want to go to Manchester. Manchester Airport's code is EGCC, and it will do a loading symbol. Then you want to click in your aircraft. A320-200, so that would work fine. Okay, so it tells you your scheduled flight. Your flight time is 1 hour and 10 minutes. The departure runway and arrival runway, which we need to remember them. And then your route, which is a basic route. And then your route there. And if you don't want that route, you can click on this thing. Click up here and you get more routes, you click on it and it gives you a few more routes. I'm actually going for route 3. You don't have to press save or anything, you literally just click it, press close, and it's saved. So once you've done that, you're almost ready to go. All you do is click generate flight. I won't say that for you, but next time you do another flight you probably will. So generate the flight. Then here we go. So now, come back to Flight Sim, and if this has worked correctly, you come back to the logo, top, click from SimBrief, and hopefully it should pop up. So EGHQ, which is where we are, and EGCC is where we're going, a few weather details. Now we want to go through the aircraft systems, so what I like to do is come up to the overhead panel again and turn these on. Which is turn so facing up, and basically what that does is turns on our systems here. Quite dark, so that will boot these systems up, and then basically it can be quite dark sometimes, so just turn on all the lights. So I went a bit faster. So the lights for this bit here is these here, so turn these up. For the screens, it's these little knobs here. For the throttle lights, it's this one here. For this screen, you've got a little switch down here. You just have to click and drag up a few times for it to get brighter, and then up on the overhead, it's this one here. Turn that up, and then there we are. So as you can see, I always say there's minutes. It probably won't take that long, but by the time we're done, it should be okay. So you want to come down to your screen here, or you can press Control 5, which is a better view. So to get started, you want to click on INIT, initialize. I think that's what it stands for. Could be wrong. And then rest. Then hopefully, if it's all correct and set up correctly, it should look like this, or roughly like this. And then what you want to do is go on to your flight plan, and then the from EGHQ is where we're going from, so departure, so click on the button, departure. So see, it's asking for a runway. Remember, our runway was 30, and we have no SIDs or SIDs. So just press insert. We'll get to that in a minute, so don't worry too much about that. And then also we want to set up a destination, is EGCC, it's Manchester. So click on it, arrival. And to navigate this, it's these arrows here. So you press up to go down and down to go up. It's a bit backwards, but get used to it. So if you go back to, if you've forgotten it like I have, go back to SimBrief, back arrow, then scroll down, and then our runway is 23 right. So we want to find 23 right here, which is there. I prefer to use ILS because it helps with landing. And then obviously now we have a VIA. We need to find that VIA on our flight plan, and it's the last one typically. Longer flights and one major airport to another should have more waypoints. So we want to find the waypoint MIRS1A. Doesn't have it, and I typically tend to look at previous on the where we got to choose our flight plan. Here, I normally look at other routes to see if they have something similar, and if normally they do, so the OKTEM, hopefully that's there. That's close enough. So that one had a 1 in it, our one was looking for didn't, but it's close enough. Press insert, and then that's your flight plan almost done. What you ought to do now is click on, go back to flight plan. As you can see, this says flight plan discontinuity, so that basically means the plane doesn't know how to get from one waypoint to another. So I'm just going to reset my view. So to fix that, you want to come up do these little switches, I don't know what you call these, and then change from arc to plan, and then the miles to 20. As you can see, it kind of just stops there, it doesn't know where to go. So if I zoom out more, yeah, that's a bit wrong, but we'll sort that out in a minute. So the aircraft doesn't know how to get from there to there, which is quite far, but hopefully this will work. What you want to do is come back down. So you've got both screens in view. Press clear, clear, and clear for a third time, and then you want to find the button that's clearing the flight plan discontinuity. And that. Hopefully, there you go. It now finds a route to connect them together. Which it does. So that's that set up and correct. So just go from plan to arc, and it's still booting, so yeah, we'll give it a few minutes. So now, if we go back to SimBrief, it is quite back and forward, so it does help if you have multiple monitors. So as you can see here, our cruise is at flight level 300, so that's 30,000 feet. So come over here to the altitude, change to 30,000. Speed, I typically tend to just stick it at 240 for a minute. Heading we don't need to touch because that's all auto. And then we want to add fuel because obviously we won't get very far without a load of fuel. So on SimBrief, as you can see, it says block fuel 5579. So you can see I put 5579, press start, and then it refuels. And once that's doing that, we can then actually add some passengers. It's kind of just an audio thing. It does add some weight apparently, and to do that, back to the better view, click on MCDU menu, then ATSU, AOC, weight / balance, and then request. All this information is, this should all pop up again if the connection to SimBrief is done correctly. Because in SimBrief there's an option to add passengers and cargo. You don't need, if you're adding passengers, you don't need to add cargo because 174 passengers will add 4.3. I'm guessing, I want to say tons, but just cargo. So to do that, so pressed. Once it all pops up in blue, press start. You should be able to hear numbers going up, and there's some audio in the background. So that's kind of everything done in terms of routing. But now we want to actually get the aircraft running. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut. So to affect all the realism and all that, just come through here. There you go, boarding time incident, just to get it over done with. Then you can change audio and stuff like that here. Most of like your settings for this aircraft will be done in here. I'm just going to switch that back to map. So now that we have the passengers on, we want to get the plane started. So get some lights on. So beacon to alert.
Flight attendants, armed doors, and cross-check.
Ground crew. There's going to be loads of audio go through now. Let's just turn these on. Turn the seatbelts on.
Just wrapping up some paperwork up front here and waiting to receive final numbers from the ground crew, then we'll be on our way. Flight attendants will be coming through the cabin shortly with a very important safety briefing. We do ask that you give them your full, undivided attention as they review the safety operations of this Airbus aircraft. We do appreciate your business having you aboard this flight. If there's anything we do to make your flight any more enjoyable, please don't hesitate to ask. Welcome aboard.
So, yeah, the audio is queued up by what you've done to the aircraft. So, because I turned the beacon light on, they're now speaking. But if I didn't turn it on, it wouldn't have started and spoke over the pilot. Anyway, so whilst they're chatting to the fake passengers, you can have a little look around if you want. It's quite detailed. So turn the beacon light on, turn our logo and nav lights on. and we can't exactly start the engines with ground power, so we need to turn on that APU. So, APU master switch here, and then APU starter. If we come down here, we can see it should automatically change this bottom middle screen to APU, and then it should start starting. There we go. Now we have our second screen because it's all booted up, so we can start the engines once the bleed pressure climbs. And if it doesn't, you turn the APU bleed on, which I know I haven't. Yep, I haven't. It's on 100% and it's not on, so I come up here, skip the button, and it's this one, APU bleed. So I'll come back down and look. Yep, there we go. And because of that, we can start our engines. To do that is down here, so it is our throttle and our engine master switches. So turn the engine mode selector to start. This is to the right, and then if you can either do 1 or 2, doesn't really matter. Or you can just do both and they will both start. So if we head outside, spin around, there they go. And now we've got to wait for these guys to boot. Start. Not really boot. You know when the engines are ready, because they pop up with avail as available. So we now know both engines are available and just center the throttle. So now they're both available, and turn the ignition to normal and lock the door. So engines are up and running. We can then disconnect ground power because we don't need it, and of course I'd like to turn the APU off. So now the engines are running, we need to actually get down there. Get down, or taxi down to it. So turn on our taxi lights. Runway turn off lights. And we are good to start taxiing. But obviously we don't kind of just cut across the grass. You could if you really wanted to, there's nothing stopping you. But if you're in for realism, then you're going to want to come down to the tablet. Click on this truck icon. You can do a few things in here. If it's your first time, then it's easy enough to skip over it. But you can open the forward door, the aft door. You can request the catering truck, baggage, a power truck, and fuel truck. The fuel truck takes ages to get to you, so I wouldn't really bother. But for realism, if you wanted to and use an airport, you can press PAX. The is it a jetway that comes next to the plane? That, or sometimes if it's an airport like this, you get air stairs and baggage, the baggage truck, and baggage on, but I wouldn't take baggage off. It's, yeah, and of course the catering truck. Bring a big truck and connect onto the side and add catering. There's just a bit of realism for you, but all we want is the tug, so we want to press call tug. If we go outside, go to external. Yeah, we don't have one. Once we've called the tug, and normally a tug will be connected, you want to disconnect park and brake. You can either do it from down here, but I've got a flight stick. I can press my button and it disables. And then you want to use these buttons. So press backwards and you should start being pushed back. Now obviously it looks weird without anything there. Well, we went well on that. See, sometimes you click on to turn the other way and you turn the same way you did a minute ago. So just press it again and it should correct itself. And then once you're done, once you're happy with where you are, you can just press stop. Now, so you keep running back, so you can press the parking brake. Stop fully. Then again to release it, and then get rid of the tug. Then normally you see the tug move away, but again we don't have one here, so ignore it. So now you can start taxiing down. I finally taxi down to the runway. It's quite a long taxiway. Okay, so once I'm here, you stop at the line. Say that as runway ahead. Apply the parking brake. And there's a few things you need to do. So, flaps. You need flaps to take off. So, you can either, if you've got a button, I sometimes do it manually. So, you press and hold it, and move it back once to position 1. Then, you want your speed brake lever to be armed. Then your automatic brake to be max. And then your lights to be takeoff. The runway light off, and then your strobe on. If you've done all that correct, you should hit this.
Flight attendants, please prepare for takeoff.
Once you've heard that, you've done everything correct. And then you can release the parking brake and go onto the runway. Now, because I'm on my own, there are other players, but obviously, if you've played flight sim before, you know you just phase through people. But there is a online community. I don't know what it's called. VATSIM. VATSIM is like a role-playing service, just a role-playing thing for an add-on for flight sim. I've seen it, but I haven't been on it. I'm not confident enough to on it, and that's for really avid users and people that love flight sim. And just have a Google, you'll find it, and maybe watch some videos about it. Anyway, so once you've got to the blast pad, which is them loads of lines, you'll throttle. I typically tend to take off around 140 knots, so slowly bring the bit back, and we're in the air. Oh, we're going up nice and steadily, so I press G to bring the gear up, or if I do it manually, it's just there. And then I press autopilot 1, bring my throttle back to climb, then press the auto throttle button, and now you're completely automated. Oh, what to do that? That is down here. Let's turn these. Yeah. Bit of a hiccup there for me. And then I can see that there's red. That's because your flap's still up or down. I'm going to call it, so I'm going to bring them up. So you push your button or like a drag, and then brakes are on, so push that down. And smoke on those. And then there we are. We are now flying. As you can see, we've automatically started turning. I'm not doing anything. And click on the map. This isn't the best map in the world, because if you zoom in, see where you are, right on there, it's quite wet and rainy. The next update it was probably zoom me back out. I know. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It's very temperamental. But there we are. Oh, if you ever see this flashing, you need to come here, click, just highlight, then press middle mouse button, standard pressure. And then to come out of that, you just click and right click and like do it again, but instead of middle mouse, it's left click. It's just for the altitude thing. So it'll automatically take you up to 30,000, sorry. And it will also adjust your speed depending on how high you are, because sometimes the higher you get, the thinner the air, you're going to start losing speed a bit, so the plane should automatically adjust. If it doesn't, then you can just change this yourself. You know, you can either descend or ascend as fast as you want. Yeah, it's basically the basics. But what I like to do is I like to track my flight, because obviously I've got two screens. I like to track it, so to do that, probably if it's running it would probably not affect as much. So here's our SimBrief. So if you want to see this line and where you are on the map, you need this. This is what you guys can see, Volanta. Now you can open up in browser. That's fine. So you need to create an account, so I would highly suggest you do. But the app is better. So you just click on download Volanta. It's not harmful, don't worry. Press keep. And then install it, and it should look a bit like this. As you can see, I've already, set it up before, but you probably won't see this. But once it's all set up, it should hopefully connect. If not, just give your sim a restart, or next time you fly, it should connect. So obviously, log in. I'm already logged in. Just sort of brief there all my flights, but this, all the people are using Volanta to track their flight. Ones in white are using VATSIM, which is the thing I said before, but in blue is Volanta. But all of these people, you can take photos, look, as some people have. See busy airports, for example Heathrow, that's quite busy. But yeah, so if you want to track your flight and see where you're going, I mean, you know where you're going, but once you want to see the plan again on a better app, it'll probably be your active flight, but it will probably show you this like it is with me. It's quite cool because it's also 3D. You can see where you are, how high you are. But we want to see our plan, so down here is add a flight plan. Now normally it would be import from SimBrief, but I always get no flight plan found. But you can import one. Go down a bit, do all of these. Now, there's quite a few things here, but what you want is a plan file. And I tried that one, doesn't work, so you want the Captain Sim PLN. Download. Back to your Volanta app. Import file. Downloads, you want this one. You can assist today, on today. Open. Then save route. And then there you go. Easy as that. And once you do that, if people click on you, for example, if I click on this guy, he's filed a flight plan. I can see his flight plan and where he's come from. So he's come from Spain. Spain? Yeah, Spain. We come from Spain, gone right, well, north, and then it's going all the way up here. And then you can do it for this guy as well. So he's taken off from Exeter Airport, going down to East. So if you've been looking around, you've gone a bit too far, you forgot where you are, you just press this follow flight, and it takes you all the way back to you, and then just zoom in, and then you can see where you are. You can also give yourself a call sign, so basically what you made in SimBrief, so EZY22, and then just click off, and it should give you a flight number. And that's basically it. That's all to it. I hope you have enjoyed this. Hopefully it's been informative for you. If you have any issues, please put them in the comments. And also, this plane can have liveries, so you can have EasyJet, British Airways, Lufthansa, all that sort of stuff. If you do want that, then put in the comments, and I will do a small tutorial on how to actually add liveries. Quite plain and simple. It's not too hard. And yeah, I hope this has been informative for you. So again, thanks to Audible for sponsoring this video. Go to the link. Time of recording this, I didn't have many products on there, but I do have the screen cleaner, and it's actually really good. It's not just for screens. You can use it for glass screens, countertops and stuff like that. It's streak free, no harmful chemicals, and if you use my code NukeChef, you get 15% off. I think I said a different amount earlier, but it's definitely 15% off. So, thank you for watching. Thank you for sponsoring, and I'll see you again soon.